Hey, moviegoers, this is Scott, and I'm going to the movies tonight. It was up against, it was a contest between two different movies. I don't know, I had somebody tell me that, I might get the name wrong, Midsommar, it's gonna be right over there, or Crawl. I was trying to decide which one to see. I wanted to see either one of those movies tonight. The choices are slim pickings right now. I wasn't really aching to see a movie, but here's the deal. I had like 2 days off, and if it wasn't for my good friend Kevin, who, if you've met on my other videos, I would have just stayed in for the last 2 days, and I've been hermited out in the house. But it come tonight. I need to get out, and the more I thought about it, the more the word popcorn kept hitting in my head. So I'm gonna go see. It went out. I'm gonna go see Crawl tonight, and this isn't even a science fiction or horror. Well, it's kind of a horror flick, but it's more of a suspense. To my understanding, unlike its marketing, it's not about like this big ugly alligator. It's basically just a natural disaster movie. There's flooding in Florida, and we're gonna see if this poor girl can survive this flooding. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and see this movie, and in just a few seconds, I'm gonna be right back to let you know what I think of this meager offering that this theater has offer me. All right, well, I'll see you guys in just a few seconds. All right, bye-bye. Hey guys, I just got done watching the film. Man, I had a good time at it. It wasn't that big of a film. It was exactly what I had told you before I walked in. It is basically man against nature. I remember taking, what was it, the story, the book interpretation course in my high school, and there were 3 different types of conflict. One of them was man versus nature. Don't ask me. It was man versus man on the other one, and I forget what the third one was. But anyways, this is basically man versus nature. But what I did say before I walked in was it was basically a natural disaster movie as opposed to a big crocodile versus man monster or movie. I was totally wrong. We had a little bit of setup where we got to meet our 2 main characters. Basically, they were the only 2 people on the screen. There was mom, dad right over here, and then daughter right over here. I don't know the names. I've seen dad before in other roles, but there have been smaller roles. This is probably one of the biggest parts he's ever done in any of the movies I've ever seen. Both actors did a very, very adequate job. I enjoyed their performances, and I believed their performances. I bought this whole movie. I thought it was a great movie. Now, again, it was a smaller movie. It was Man vs. Nature, which was, it's not my ballpark. It was kind of boring in some parts, but it had to be. It had to set up the suspense, because basically that's what this movie is a very suspenseful movie. We're trying to figure out whether dad and daughter make it out alive. We got a really small setup in the very beginning where daughter can't get a real hold of dad, so she goes into his hometown to pick him up, which is in Florida, of course, which is under a weather advisement and evacuation because of oncoming hurricane. And while she's driving into town, she sees the sign that says, alligator farm. So that's not foreboding, is it? No way of projecting the plot to you. What was that? Foreshadowing? Foreshadowing, that's the one. So anyways, well, she drives past the sign, and then she finds her dad unconscious in the crawl space of their old house, and she revives him, but we're talking maybe 15 minutes into the movie, and then when she's dragging him out, she encounters her first alligator, and the story goes on from there. And it's a really cool roller coaster ride from beginning to end. The only complaint I would have is there was, way back in my youth, I remember watching this nature documentary where this bobcat had this rabbit, and obviously this bobcat had already eaten because he was basically playing with this rabbit, and this rabbit was frantically trying to get away, and so you could it looked like it was going to get away, and then the bobcat would just throw out a paw and swat it and set it knock it off its course, and then it would almost make it away again, and then it would swat it with the other paw and like set it back onto a new course again. And it seemed to play with that rabbit for a good 10 minutes before that that rabbit finally got away. And that's pretty much what happened in this movie. It just seemed to drag on a little bit, where you think that something good would happen, and of course it didn't, because I mean, we all know that the movie's going to last about 2 hours, so we have a general idea when the threat's going to end. But it just seemed like time and time again they were ensnared in that trap, in the jaws of the alligator, and to only get out, barely get out, and move on to the next phase of the plot. I really enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the plot, and also the performances in it, and I enjoyed this bit of the story that we did get, the backstory of dad and daughter, and we were given reasons through their history to care about these characters, and I enjoyed that quite thoroughly. So I'm going to go ahead and grade it a good 80. I enjoyed it 80%, about 20%. It was okay. So that's it. That's it for my night at the movies. It was Crawl, the executive produced by Sam Raimi. Woo! It was directed by somebody else. I forget who it was, but it's an enjoyable time. I would recommend it. I would not recommend to see it in the theater. I would totally wait. Unless you're bored like I am, then go see it in the theater. I think that's this is the best of the crop that we have to be offered at this moment. Either that, or just wait for it to, hit the streaming channels and then go ahead and watch it on that, or even rent it. I would rent it and, enjoy it at home. Alright guys, I'm out of here. There is one movie that I am looking forward to. So I guess the next movie I'm really excited to go see is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've been a big fan of Tarantino since I watched Pulp Fiction. It comes out like late July, I believe, so probably. But either way, I'm gonna get going, guys. So as far as Crawl goes, guys, my recommendation is wait for it to come out on video and then watch it either renting or streaming. So either way, Montanay, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.